Hello and welcome. Today we are going to discuss how to use the Assimil Japanese book to learn Japanese. So Assimil is a French company that teaches languages through self-study method. And the most interesting aspect of this book is that it always presents the lesson in a bilingual format. On the left hand side you have the language that you are learning, and on the right hand side it presents the language that you are learning using it as a medium. Means if you are learning through English, then English will be on the right. If you are learning through French, then French will be on the right, German, and so on. So as it is a French company, it definitely has the French versions as well, but in India it is only the English version that is available. So I am discussing it from my perspective, and I want to share what is the most effective way to use this book and to maximize the learning, what you should do and what you should not do. So let's get started. So we are looking into a lesson that has that is the 30th lesson, and it has a conversation between two person, and majority of the lessons in these books are actually conversations when it is a volume 1 or beginner book. In advanced book there can be literature, extracts or other stories, anything. So we are focused on this lesson. Let's look into this. So the first thing that you have to do is to realize that Japanese writing is complicated. It is not as same as English. And so if you want to build your reading capabilities, so you have to focus on the Japanese part at the first. So you can see that the Japanese is written here, and under every syllable the romanized version is also written. Like for this it is e, a, this is ki, ma, sen, and here you can see that this is a Chinese character, and above the Chinese character there is a small hiragana that is also ki. So the logical sense that goes as follows, that ki, ma, sen, but Japanese write mixing kanji, hiragana, katakana together. So you have to focus reading this. So read this as kimasen deshita. And now one thing to note is that after you read this, try to read this always at first. If you do not recall the letters correctly, then look below. You can see that the romanized form is given. And if you read it like this, kimasen, that is not the way Japanese speak. Japanese speak like this, kimasen. So it is written below this romanized version in a bracket and in a small transcript. So this is the actual pronunciation that you have to speak. Ie, kimasen deshita. Also here first you look at the Japanese. Doshita no deso. So it is doshita no deso. I'll not read it like this. I'll read it like this. Doshita no deso. Right? Similarly, wakarimasen. It will be read as wakarimasen. But in actual Japanese it is spoken like this. Wakarimasen. Right? So komarimashita ne. Komarimashita ne. So you have read the Japanese, and in your mind you should try to translate it into English. So kimashita ka, in your mind you have to think it is telling that did he come. Okay, so on the right it is given the English and you have to compare. So I thought did he come, so it is has he come, right? So this is the correct English translation. According to the authors, it is the most appropriate English translation. But if you see the word by word translation, it is given below this English sentence. Like kimashita ka, it is given came question. Ka means question in Japanese. So if you say ie kimasen deshita, so that makes the sense as no, hasn't come, word by word translation. But what is if we do word by word translation between Japanese and English? That doesn't make sense, right? English is a different way of speaking, in fact a very different way of sentence structure than compared to Japanese. So that's why Japanese people face a lot of difficulties to learn English, and also English learners also struggle. So the most effective way to bridge this gap is to read the Japanese, think it in your mind, and only if you are thinking that I am making some mistakes or I need to check, verify the English on the right. So basically, this will come secondary. This is the primary content. You have to go by the lessons, focusing on this first. And even while reading, you have to focus on the Japanese written portions. So I hope I have made this clear how to go through the lessons. And another thing, here you can see, and the fifth item, there is a 3 is a small round. So it means that it is a note. So there is something note referred here. So here it is written CEF lesson 8 note 7. That means this note 3 is same as the note 7 of lesson 8. And by the my experience, I can say that it tells that this is the negative of past tense of verb kimas, means to come. Okay, so that's how you should tackle every lessons. And also you can see that there is a small humorous cartoon or some sketch, and the woman is running and saying juibun machimashita ne. So that means, have you waited for too long? So you can see that this is a sentence here, juibun machimashita ne. You waited a long time, much waited agreement. Means the woman acknowledges that the man has stood for a long time and the flowers have drooped down, right? And also you can see here also denwa. So this is the same as the Chinese dianhua, right? So that means telephone. So this is the same as Chinese characters. Japanese will write it, but they will say it denwa, right? That is the thing you have to note. If you have exposure to Chinese, then you will be easily able to draw some similarities and accelerate your learning, right? So now we will go into the exercises. So the exercises are of two kinds. One is the sentence by sentence translation exercise practice, and another one is the fill in the blanks. So for the sentence translation exercise, the book suggests that you listen to the audio and try to guess the English meaning, right? But what I will suggest that, yes, you listen to the audio, try to go through the English meaning. Also, you should try to mentally translate back from English to Japanese. That means if you look at the English sentences, you have to see, did you do your shopping? And you have to try to translate it back to Japanese without looking at the answers first, right? So I will try with this. Did you do your shopping? So I will, okay, shopping means kaimono. I have learned in this lesson. So kaimono ga deki, dekimashita ka, right? Did you do your shopping? Kaimono ga dekimashita ka, right? Ka is the question. And also the next sentence, my American friend has come. So my American friend is America Jinno Tomodachi ga kimashita, has come. It is a means transition into a new state from an old state, so it is kimashita, like this. So I will look into the answers. What is the answers in the next slide? Kaimono ga dekimashita ka. So while reading the exercises, you have to follow the same steps. Read the Japanese first. If you miss any or forget, then read the Romanized. If you think that you are not reading the Romanized correctly, you have to look under the pronunciation, that condensed third transcript. But the thing is that this will vanish from the middle of the book, and suddenly you are just left with this Japanese writing and this Romanized version. So you have to pay attention in the earlier lessons. And you can see that America Jinno Tomodachi ga kimashita. So the other sentences I will also advise that you have to follow the same style. And next let's go into the fill in the blanks. So in the fill in the blanks, you can see that the first is the English sentence. I waited in front of the store. So it is written, some words are given, mise, then fill in the blanks, then machimashita. That means there will be mise means shop and machimashita means waited. So mise no mae de machimashita. Miche no mae ne machimashita. So if you look at the answers, yes, no mae de, that is correct. So I am telling it correctly. That means I have learned how to build the sentence, right? So what I am telling you, that you have to jump from English to Japanese in your mind, Japanese to English, and again in the fill in the blanks you have to jump from English to Japanese. So this builds your translation capabilities, sentence generation capabilities. So you have to pay a lot of attention and you have to practice it doing honestly and with your own ability. And at every seventh lesson they have discussed the all the grammatical points and important explanations in one revision lesson. So that is named as Matome, and I have not added that into this slide. I have just discussed how to effectively use this book. Lot of learners commit mistakes while using this book and still do not get results. Also, this book has CDs, so if you have those CDs, you can play those audios and listen to the content and try to guess the meaning. And if you do not understand, then you jump to this book and then you read this Japanese, then you see the pronunciation, and then you go to the right and see the English. Right? So that's how gradually, if you do this honestly and rigorously, you will be able to learn a lot of Japanese. So that's all for this video. Arigato gozaimasu.